We're giving out lots of money for schools here locally, and that's an interesting thing. I'm big on school choice. I like the fact that people have opportunities to have freedom when it comes to their education. But vouchers and things, be honest with you, kids, when not done right, it is a situation where you look around and go, are we wasting money in certain situations? And this is going to be something over time. This is not a one shot. You got to learn from mistakes, and there's going to be some ebbs and flows in this thing. But there's no doubt that there are already some issues that, people are worried about when it comes to, what's going on here.
Supporters call it education freedom. Opponents call it a handout to the wealthy.
It's Tennessee's new private school voucher program, giving 20,000 students $7,300 each for private school tuition.
Now, while the law allows for 5,000 more vouchers next year, the program could soon double in size, even as critics warn the state can't afford it.
Catch a game on the hardwood at Raider Arena, and you'll see the writing is on the wall. Moore County's identity lies in its public schools,
the hub in the middle of the wheel,
and its sports.
Let's go!
So when lawmakers put on a full-court press to pass Governor Bill Lee's private school voucher bill,
I don't think this is the right thing for Moore County schools.
some folks here feared it would strip small public schools like theirs of needed cash.
I really don't see how it can benefit public education.
Well, I think it's fair.
I don't think it was supposed to benefit public education.
I think it's a fair question to say, for you to ask. But the answer, like Bell just said, is it's not supposed to benefit you. What it's supposed to do in theory is give kids in lower socioeconomic situations, as well as middle-class kids, opportunities to choose if they so desire and can get to and get into other schools that maybe have a better academic record with more opportunities. I mean, that's in theory what it's supposed to do.
Despite worries like that, Republicans passed the bill. And now, just 3 months into the program's first year,
we had a lot more demand than we had supply, so that's a positive.
Governor Lee and Speaker of the House Cameron Sexton want to increase the number of vouchers that the state hands out.
How far would you like to see the program expanded this year?
I would like to meet the need from last year, so I would say minimum 42,000, but we'll see what happens.
At current funding levels, that move would cost the state of Tennessee another $144 million. And Sexton says Republicans don't need a new law to make that change if they can find enough money in the state budget.
Do you think it'll be harder than just budgeting more money to expand this program?
I do think it'll be harder than just, moving dollars around and hoping no one will notice.
Senator Jeff Yarborough, a Nashville Democrat, thinks it'll be hard because rural Republicans won't want to spend more cash on private school vouchers that he says aren't helping poorer families who live outside of the state's largest cities and send their kids to public school.
It is not really education policy. It is sheer income redistribution.
It is. Because when you hear the numbers, that's what it becomes. It just becomes income redistribution. Hey, people who already send your kids to the private school, here's an extra, several grand to cover that. And that's what the data is showing. You may not want it. They could come and say, well, we didn't want it to be that way. Well, in the rural areas, and this was the problem with it, Texas tried this big time. And they killed it at the last minute because the rural areas, the same things we had problems with here, is the rural areas that only have one or two schools. They don't have a private school nearby. That money gets sucked away. And what do you have? You have people in big cities whose kids are usually going to private school already start to get the opportunity to, pay down some of that a little bit better.
While the state didn't track the number of vouchers handed out to students already enrolled in private school, WSMV4 dug into the data that the state did release. It shows in the first year of the program, 75% of the vouchers went to just 10 urban and suburban counties, with the majority going to families with incomes above $170,000.
What? No.
And since 2021, those 10 counties have the highest private school enrollment numbers in the state, according to Private School Review.
It is just Robin Hood in reverse, on steroids.
You don't think it's fair, the criticism that this is just a handout to wealthy families to subsidize private school education?
No, not at all.
Sexton says to help more families needing financial help to pay for private school, the voucher application window will open earlier this time around and last longer.
Hopefully with a wider window, we'll have more opportunities and it won't be as condensed for those parents.
Wait, hold on a second. I just want to go over this again. So Sexton's saying to himself, well, if maybe the opportunity to get on the internet and to fill this out was longer, that those kids and parents would have an opportunity from the lower socioeconomic side of things to get on there and do what? What changes? If you don't have a local school, private school that you want to go to, there's no charter school for you to go to that's close by. You don't live in these areas where they have an abundance of these things for you to have choice. Then what? Out of curiosity. And if you can't afford, so it's like anything too. It's also getting into the school, all right? So you go there, you're competing. Then, this is something else that people forget. Not all these schools are exactly what you're getting handed. Let's say something's $15,000, right? We're just playing around with numbers. And 75, they give you $7,500. Well, you're still short $7,500. If you couldn't send your kid to school before because you couldn't afford it, just because you get a little help doesn't mean it's going to make it easier for your kid to get in.
Does that fix the issue?
Of course not. And so I don't think this is going to provide any opportunities for, rural families.
And in places like Moore County, some fear they'll lose more than just educational resources.
I do see how it could hurt us financially.
They'll also lose funding for sports and the other things that make their schools special. Speaker Sexton told me in the second year of the program, the Department of Education will start tracking whether voucher recipients were already enrolled in private schools or if they moved over from public schools. As for when we'll know if this program is going to expand, that's all tied to the state budget. So we won't get a clear picture until lawmakers approve that budget, likely in late March or early April.
It's just, it is frustrating. Here's the thing. We need great schools. We need kids to have opportunities in great schools. And the rural is a big part of it because it's very conservative out in the rural area. And you understand that. But it's also a lot of these places, it's not just about the poor, the rural. You may have a decent amount of money and live rural, but your ass isn't going to drive for an hour and a half to go to school. So you put this in a situation where, if you're taking advantage of it, you'd be foolish not to take advantage of it if you were sending your kid to school. We did in Arizona. It's funny, the first year, my wife didn't do it. She didn't know that she could apply because they thought it was mean tested. It wasn't means tested. So, and then I'm like, yes, take advantage of it. And what's happened in Arizona is they're basically... all the stuff they said it was for is for these kids in underdeveloped areas, socioeconomically developed areas that were struggling, and this is going to help them. And who gets it? It's the kids that are already going to private school and their parents. And you'd be foolish not to take advantage of it. But they need to do a better job. They're already talking about expanding it. And you're like, well, let's do a better job. Let's make sure we got everything on the same page.
No. That's not how government works. You put something in place, and if it doesn't work, you spend more money on it.
Yeah.
That's government for you.
Yeah, that's government right there. You know what? If it doesn't work, throw more money at it. And if it doesn't work then, double whatever you threw at it. And if it doesn't work then, one more time, throw more money at it.
But never admit it's not working.
Never let them see you sweat. Never, ever allow them to see this thing not working. Always paint it in the best picture you possibly can. That's the best way you can do some of this. A lot of you chiming in about this. Again, we should always be pro-school. Here's my thing. With private education, it's a wonderful thing. If you can send your kids to private school. My mother had to send me to private school for a couple of years because no public school would take me. I got kicked out of districts. I had some issues. So all of them hilarious, by the way. None of them had to do with discipline. All just so fun. So even to this day, my mom goes, you didn't try very hard, but you were funny. I'm like, I know. But The issue with public schools is, in many cases, there's the public school teachers and the unions and stuff, and it's not the teachers' fault, but a lot of times, the battle that goes on, it becomes so political, and it's never about results, which is all that should matter. What are the results? How are the kids doing? Failing schools need to be closed. Successful schools need to be studied. Teachers need to be rewarded that are doing great. Ones that suck need to be gone. It's the common sense thing that has eluded politics for years. I don't know what happened to it. Maybe they should pass a bill where they got to go find common sense. And yeah, if you're sending your kid to public school and you have a chance to go grab some free money because you're already paying for it, do it. You'd be foolish not to. But it's the law of unintended consequences.
You know what's going to fix this, right?
More money.
More government.
More government. More government. We need more government. You know what else we need? More government to go after hemp. Get that hemp. You better get that. Isn't it funny that the Republicans are angry because they don't get a sue for $500,000 like the Senate does? But none of them are pissed off about the fact that they continue to come down on the hemp industry. Oh, by the way,
they just destroyed an entire industry.
Do you want to know who funded the fight against it? Big weed.
Weed?
Big weed. Giant, huge, massive distilleries and growers who aren't selling to the gas stations, who aren't selling to they didn't like the competition. They want you to come to their private establishment that's over 21, not the gas station. Isn't that crazy?
So Mitch McConnell is pro-weed.
He's pro-money. He likes green.
What a scumbag.
Yeah.